Hello everyone, this is CANTOR GASTON, Bogomolni, broadcasting from North Miami Beach, TORAH Benny Road campus. Today I'm in a very special day, a special place. I'm in a balcony and I'm working on a project, a very special project for the upcoming high holidays. So I'm sure that, that many of you will be able to see our virtual services. As a person who is also behind the scenes, I can tell you that they're just outstanding. So if you're a member and you haven't renewed your membership, I think this is a great moment to do it. So you can get your passport, you can get to invite also friends and family from your passport. I think you get a chance to invite a certain amount. And the other thing is that if you live far away and still like your synagogues or usually where you usually go, or if you don't go anywhere and you know now TORAH became your place, even your virtual place, just take advantage and get a virtual membership. But I can tell you that the high holidays are going to be just amazing. And as a preview of the high holidays, you know that we have the Selichot service. So what is the Selichot service? Selichot means penitence, means I mean that's kind of the literal translation, penitence. But Selichot is a way to ask for forgiveness. So the Sephardim, the Jews who come from the Mediterranean and some from Western Europe and also from some of the Arab countries, they start doing Selichot already from the 1st of Elul, which was like 3 weeks ago. Well, tomorrow night we have our Selichot, and I invite you all, after Havdalah, we're going to have our own Selichot for our TORAH family and everyone who is virtual. And after that, we also have a very wide program, which is a worldwide program. Worldwide, I say, because it's from the conservative Judaism, and one of our special services, which is not exactly what we're doing tomorrow for TORAH, but one special service that I created with my friend Gaba Resnik, who was invited in the first session of conversations with the clergy on Fridays. He and I prepared a beautiful meditational experience for Selichot that was chosen by the conservative Judaism worldwide to be one of the 5 or 6 services that are going to be tomorrow, 11 o'clock. And I think you have to register already for that, but don't worry, because we were going to make it available as well on my Facebook and also TORAH Facebook, and hopefully also we'll put it on YouTube, so you can have even the Selichot program, whether it's not doing tomorrow night, you can still do it, on Sunday or even until Yom Kippur. You can always use that as a resource for working on forgiveness, and especially the program, the meditations that we do there and the music that we play, it focuses a lot in self-forgiveness and self-love. So today's conversation with the clergy, with the cantor today with me here. It's going to be shorter today, and we are almost to finish the Torah. I mean, we are not in Simchat Torah, but we are always in this parasha called Nitzavim. Sometimes it's read like this year with Vayelech. So Nitzavim, Vayelech are kind of like the two kind of last parshiot, Torah portions. And Nitzavim, Vayelech, or Nitzavim by itself, is always read before Rosh Hashanah. Always. So, L'chaim. And Nitzavim, in a way, well, it says many different things, right? So what is the message today? Today is also 9/11. I know 9/11 represents for many of us, of course in the United States, those who have lived here for a while, even for those who are immigrants, it's just a day that, aside from the emergency number that we call 9/11, it's just a devastating day, and I think I would say a very impactful day for anyone who even watched it on TV or was here in the United States and for the world, entire world. I think it was just devastating. I myself remember very well, vividly. I was living in Barcelona, but I was about to come to United States because I was a guest cantor, the guest Hazzan in Roanoke, Virginia. And I was coming to the United States and I couldn't fly. And I had to fly, I remember very well, I had to fly on Shabbat, to make it here to the United States because they closed all the airports. I remember watching that I couldn't believe my eyes. And just a year before that I was in New York, visiting New York. So it was really fascinating even to have pictures of the Twin Towers, the year, the 2000 and then 2001, no Twin Towers anymore. And also the Pentagon, as we know very well, was also attacked, and I was going to Virginia through Washington, so it was a no kind of traveling at that point. So the first airplane that came, I remember, was on Shabbat. I will never forget that moment. It was very difficult decisions and was scary. And my mom, who is now watching there, I'm sure she remembers that. We probably had the discussion of should I fly? It's like now with the COVID. Why am I mentioning all this? Because for many different reasons. 9/11 is also a day that in other parts of the world means something different. And it's important to know that because one episode in the world, it shouldn't and it should not, take over other episodes or other commemorations or celebrations. It might happen, on 9/11. For example, in Chile is the day of the coup d'etat, for when Pinochet, the civil war, and then in Argentina, for example, is Teachers' Day. I remember that because my mom is a teacher and I've been a teacher for a long time. So 9/11 might mean different things for different people. And this is important as we talk about Nitzavim, and I'll tell you why. For two different reasons. First, what happened in 9/11, just to bear that in mind. And the other thing is what it says here is so important. I mean, like we read this just before Rosh Hashanah. Why is it so important? Let's just think here. It says, today, Atem Nitzavim hayom. Atem Nitzavim hayom kulchem, right? It's like all of you, right? All of you are standing here, right? So all of you are standing here. So it seems at the beginning we say, everyone is standing here. There's no need to mention people. There's no need to mention, okay, like Susanna, you're here, and George, you're here, and Anastasia, you're here, and Gaston, you're here, Moshe, Yosef, you're here. No, I mean, it's like everyone is standing here. Nonetheless, just put only one comma in the Torah, and then it will change you, blow your mind, right? So what it says? Today, Atem nitzavim hayom kulchem lifnei Hashem Elohim. So you are all standing here, lifnei Hashem, in front, before God, your God. Now we start making the namings and the mentionings, right? Ashechem shiftechem, ziknechem veshotrechem, kol ish Israel, right? So now we have hierarchy. It seems that at the first time, the first reading, we think that we have, hierarchies here. So all of a sudden, everyone is standing here. Your heads, you're the chiefs, the chief of the tribes, the bosses, the ancient people, the Sanhedrin, and then, the elders, and then the officials, the shotrim, the judges and the policemen. So you are all here. But all the time we need to say, and all the men from Israel, right? The little ones, the kids, the spouses, the women, the ger, right? In this case, gercha asher bekerev machanecha. I mean, the stranger or the immigrant or the person who converted to your faith is here as well. And then it says that from so mechotev etzecha, the person who cuts the trees, right? until, you know, the person who brings the water. So this is important because at the beginning it's like, okay, this is like all hierarchy, right? Like why the Torah is making this mention if we all have the same soul, if we all are like, you know, made, you know, we are all made with, under the image of God. So why is it now the Torah mentioning? But this is very important because if someone says, you know, when it says, you know, the person who brings, you know, who brings up the water, you know, from the hole, it reminds me just all the time, you know, when you have a soccer game. So you have the people who are the official people who play the soccer, and then you have the people who are the subbing, right? The people who substitute when something happened, right? So you have one for each. And then you have, in Argentina, we call it like the, you know, la guatero suplente. It's like you have the person who brings the water to the players, and then you have also someone who substitutes that person as well. But it's funny because in our belief, we think that being that person, or that the ball boys, right? The ball boys, you know, in tennis, I'm a tennis player, so the ball boys, you know, the one who runs and take the balls, you know, from the net, it's like nonsense. And so this is a very only with this, you know, we have enough for the half an hour I want to spend with you. As we are in front of God, God is saying, first it comes with the whole, everyone. Now is when it says everyone, then if I'm a big macher, I would think, oh, he's talking about only just the big machers, the people who, you know, who have the Mercedes, or the people who live, you know, in I don't know, in this place and in another place, and the people who have the money. No. Then start mentioning, saying like, when I say everyone, when God says everyone, or Moses says everyone, means everyone. It's not just the big machers, the people who are the chief, and the people who are just next to Moses, or the people who really are the los protagonistas, you know, the people who are starring, you know, the stars of the show, the stars of, right? It's like when you watch these biblical kind of like movies or biblical series, even in Netflix, and then you see it's Moses, you know, Joshua, and then you have Miriam and Aaron, and then, you know, Jethro, and these are the people who kind of like get repeated all the time. But here it says the following. It says everyone, and it starts mentioning from the chief, from Moses, to the person who brings the water, to the person who carries the donkey, from the baby that was just born. Everyone counts, because we are all part of a puzzle. We talk about this so many times. So there's a teaching, there's a big teaching here. We are about to enter Rosh Hashanah. And you know what? What is Rosh Hashanah? It's not about the apples and honey anymore. It's not just about listening to the shofar. Everything has a meaning. Remember that the month of Elul was the month that we acquired this advocate, we acquired this lawyer that is working with us, right, to prepare the case. So the more you are on the side of the light, meaning, you know, being you know, that you apply yourself, that you live with consciousness, that you live today as to be your last day, as the rabbis and the sages said in the Pirkei Avot. The reason that we confess, the confession that we do, Shamnu, that we do in Yom Kippur, we do it every day. And it should, you know, in a Sephardic Siddur, you have it in the morning, you have it in the afternoon, and also at night, before you go to sleep, for the Shema Lamita. Why do we do confession? Why do we ask forgiveness every single day, more than once, 3 times a day? It's not Yom Kippur only. We ask for forgiveness every single day because we don't know if tomorrow we're going to wake up. So if this will be your last day, Hayom, right? That's what we sing. Today we are blessed. Today is the day that you receive our prayers. Today, Hayom, Hayom, right? As a matter of fact, the Reformed Jews, they chant this parasha on Yom Kippur because it talks so much about the day. What is the day Ayom? When it says Ayom, Ata Nitzavim Ayom, that you are all here, firm, standing before God. What is that Hayom? Hayom means that day, the day of judgment, the court day. So how, I'm asking you, I will hope that we'll have, one day again, the Zoom so we can talk about it. But respond on your own. And I don't think I can read here the messages, but I will read them later. How are you standing? How are you preparing yourself? Elul is not over, and Rosh Hashanah is not until next Friday. How are you standing before God? What do you have in your pockets? What do you have in your heart? What do you have in your mind, in your soul? What is it yet that's still inside you that we need to correct? What is it that we still have inside ourselves that we still need to correct? And what does it mean to start before God? To start firm? That means that you are stagnant? You stuck? No. First, everyone is standing there. We are part of the puzzle. Okay? So no one is more important than the other one. I'm thinking about 9/11. Everyone who have perished, from that attack. It doesn't, people relieve me. At this point, they're not counting actually how much money each of these people who died. It's like the bomb in the Amia for those who I know I have a lot of Argentinians there. Nobody is asking if the person who died is the person who was cleaning the rooms, if the person who was the owner of the restaurant, or across the street, or if it was the person who came to change the bulb. Everyone is important here. Everyone is important. There's no one, when people say, hey, you are so gifted, I'm nobody. What am I? I didn't study. I didn't have enough time. I didn't have money. My family, I come from a very humble family. No. Everyone has a spark from the divine in your neshama. Every one of us have a mission. Everyone has something to give to this world. So don't think for anything in the world, think that you are worthless. It's okay to be humble. It's very important. Everything starts with humility, and no humility that, I want people to humiliate me. No, humble means actually that you're humble, right? Doesn't mean you have people humiliated. Moses was called, had anava. That's what we call anava. So any process of forgiveness starts with humility. Any change of character traits that you want to do starts with anava. It starts with humility, with humbleness. You have to be humble, but not to the point to be a victim so people can actually have pity on you. No. That's not the way it says that Nitzavim Hayom, right? That you stand firm. So what does it mean? You are standing. That means you are straight. So we know Hayom means Rosh Hashanah, the Yom Adin, the day of judgment. Then, how do you want to live that courthouse? You want to be a triumph, or you want to be a defeat? You want to be defeated, you want to win it. You want to win it. So if you want to win it, you're not going to come with arrogance and say, hey God, what's going on? Why don't you forgive me, huh? No. The way you want to judge me, first of all, is humility. When you go to court and you say to the judge, you start discussing with the judge, you start arguing with the judge. Well, believe me, I was in court and many of you probably were too. And that's not what you do. You are humble, right? Not only you're humble, you have to be truthful, right? You get to commit yourself. They put the Bible there. I promise you, I swear for the Bible. Well, it's our Bible, it's the Torah. So the Torah is all the time. And in this parasha, very interestingly, there's so many cool things in this parasha. One of the things in this parasha also is that we are supposed to fulfill the mitzvah to write our own Torah. So we know that none of us, actually many of us, or most of us, are not so free. We are not scribes, so we don't know what to really write. I mean, no, it's not that we know to write. We don't know how to write. We don't know how to. I have two friends who are so free, right? My friend Rabbi Gustavo Zuraski and my classmate almost to be Rabbi Sebastian Grinchu. They're amazing from Argentina, amazing sofrim, amazing scribes. And they study a lot and they have the ability, right? So how come, the Torah is asking us that in our lifetime we need to write a Torah? Well, it makes a lot of sense. You go study and you do it. It might take a lot of years, but that's okay. But what other ways we can interpret that actually we can write a Torah? First of all, when we are in a community, when we live in a kehillah, we have a lot of Torot. Sometimes we commission a Torah or a new Torah to be written. Each of us put a little letter there, or we donate money for a word, we donate money for a parasha, etc. And that's our Torah. We are a kehillah, we are a community, so it's kind of like we own that Torah the way we fulfill the mitzvah. So a community that commissions a Torah to be written is almost like fulfilling the mitzvah. That's what some of the rabbis think about it. Now, there are other ways. There is a Torah that is written in stone, right? The Torah we know. And it's the Torah that you write. The Torah that you write is like basing on the Torah's laws, and we talked about this last week, based on the Torah's teachings, advices, tools, you write your own story. That's your Torah. Torah means to teach, right? The Torah is a teaching. It doesn't even say Torah here. It's all these teachings, right? And at the end, the famous phrase of this parasha, and the famous phrase that everyone loves to use. I think I even used it on my speech for when I finished high school. I think my mom helped me with that. Ubacharta b'chaim, right? And you choose life. So once again, we have this idea that we have freedom of choice, right? That's debatable. Yeah, some people like to debate about, do we have freedom of choice? Yeah, we have freedom of choice. The question is, it's like the GPS. Okay, I have a destination. Some people think, oh, I don't believe in destination. Yes, I think you can change the destination. I do think that you can change your fate, right? Or at least move a little bit the line of what it probably was going to be permitted and going to go. But ubacharta b'chaim. The Torah says, whatever you have in front of you, ubacharta b'chaim, and you choose life. So when you are in front of God's court, on the day of judgment, even before we still have this opportunity, are you going to come prepared? Are you going to come on the slabs? We talked about last week. Are you going to a war without weapons? Are you going to a war? No. So the war house, right? Like the Kabbalists like to say, it's the Bet HaKnesset. So our weapons are the shofar, the prayers, the work that we do inside, the introspection, the forgiveness, the self-forgiveness, the self-love, and the one that we give also to other ones. So today you are standing before God. So the more you approach, and the faster and the quicker you approach the highest potential on your life, you lessen the judgment. The more you fool around in your life, the more judgment you get. So the more you are dedicated to Torah, the more you dedicate to God's life, to elevate your conscience, to be partners with God in this world, to help people, to view and to see for other people, and to help people in this life, to help the other people in the puzzle. Right? When you're doing a puzzle, what do? You bring your friends, or you bring your family. So 2 eyes can see something, 4 eyes can see more, and then more eyes can see more and more. 1 heart can be very good for good things. You can pour out your heart. 1 soul is good. More souls, the better. The more, the merrier, the better. Always. The more you can encounter also these other souls, these other sparks of the divine, the faster we can actually put this puzzle together. The more you reject other people, you are rejecting your own sculpture, your own art, your own self. So when we discriminate, when we just speak evilly, when we do gossip, when we judge people, right? And I say we because I do too. Then we're getting far away, more time, far away from the Torah, from God, and from what we need to do in this life. So you're going to stand before God and do something about it? You're going to stand just there and get still and say, yeah, just put the medal. No, you want the medal? You still have to work. You wake up in the morning and then you fool around? No, you do what you need to do. Get to your potential. Get to find what your mission is in your life. How are you going to start this year? How is it going to be for you? How are you going to stand Hayom in that day of judgment? Remember, we are the army. We are the army of light. We are soldiers of light. It's like the Jedi, right? Star Wars. We are the soldiers of light. Yeah, that's what we are. So we need to use it. Believe it, because that's what it is. We all have a potential for so many things, to heal the world, to heal ourselves, to forgive everyone. Use it. Take out your sword of light and use it. We have a commitment with God, with Hashem, eternal commitment. So you stand in order to move forward. Don't move back. Back means the past. The past is there just to learn and to move forward, not to stay. This is what happened. Look. This is the past. That's why I cannot move forward, because the past is just there. It's pulling me. No, because he did that. And she did this. No. Right? Then you never move forward. You're always like thinking, he did to me and what he did to me and everything, and then you're a victim, and just stop it. New year, fresh. Right? Past, garnish. First of all, you cannot change it. I'm watching a Netflix when in my spare time, like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm watching this series. It's interesting. We call it Lucci because it's called Lucifer. So it's about this Satan, you know, who wants to take vacation and for recreation he goes to he goes to the earth, and then it's very interesting because he's evil. So he's like an as I call it with Marcela, with my wife, we say that the Satan is like an ego with legs. It's like a walking ego. So he likes to do all these things, but in the meantime, you know, while he's living on the earth, he's doing a lot of mitzvot. So it's very interesting. So it's cool also theologically, you know, what is happening there. You know, I don't want to kill, you know, kind of the series for you, but there's certain characters that appears from the Bible, you know, you will never even expect all the sudden, you know, come from heaven or from hell, wherever. And why did I say this to you? No, I forgot. It will come back. But it was something. What is it? Oh, that's it. Pulling from the past. So there are people who are sent to hell, and the way they describe hell, right, which exists in the Jewish theology exists. You know, just for you to know, the hell exists. You know, it's the Gehinnom. And also, you know, there are certain literature, you know, in Judaism that also talks about the different 7 heavens and the 7 lower as well. So there are different Sheol, and there are different levels of going also down to the other side. Now, the question is, what does it mean to live hell? What does it mean to live the limbo, as they say? And in this series, it says that what is killing you and what is sending you to hell, and what is not allowing you when you're in hell, or you go down there, or you're in the limbo, and what is not allowing you to get released and get relieved and move forward and go, you know, make the jump, you know, and skip to heaven, is the guilt. Is the guilt. And we know about Jewish guilt, especially from Jewish mothers. Hi, mom. The Jewish mothers, right, with the guilt and everything. It's the guilt. So in the series, they show that, for example, if someone killed someone, right? So they went to hell. Okay. So they show all the time. It's almost like a loop. It's like in a movie. So they go and they stop the knife. They stop the knife. And that is so much the guilt that they cannot move forward. They cannot get away from the... So that's what in this series shows that hell is. It's their own guilt. So there's nothing worse in this world to have your own, to have that guilt that doesn't allow you to live and to move forward. And that's hell. Literally. Living in the past, that's hell. It's no, first of all, it's no good for that person, wherever you are holding grudges with or for, and then it's holding for someone else. It's just not good. It's literally hell. So it's not good at all. So we learn something today. One more time. We were all standing there. So stop thinking that so there's a balance here. That's why the whole about things about humbleness. For one side, the Chazal, the sages say, don't be so humble actually to a point that you feel worthless. And on the other side, it says, don't feel that you are the king of America, or as they say in Colombia, la última Coca-Cola del desierto. I mean, the last bottle of Coke in the desert, right? That you feel so precious. So it's so good to feel that it's so precious. It's very also important to know that you need to be humble. So if in this life, in this incarnation, for let's say for any reason you were gifted with I don't know, with anything, any skill, right? The reason that you have it is not for you to feel better than anyone else. First of all, if you got that skill, it's for you to teach to others. If you got a great idea, it's that inspiration, believe me, it came from God. So when you get that idea, yes, go for the business. Go for the idea. Go and put it in practice. Materialize it. But remember that money that you get is to be shared. Remember that any skill that you have is to be shared. Remember that any ideas that you have, they're also to be shared. Anything that you can gain from, right? From anything that you can count on, that you think you take it as your own credit, sit down for a second and believe me, if you got the health, you got the money, and you got the idea, and you got the business, and you got to go to this university and to get the credentials that you have, they come from God. They do come from God. So stop thinking that you are la última Coca-Cola del desierto, that you are the king of the universe. There's only one king. And believe me, in a week, we are going to know that. Anything that you start this year is how it's going to be the whole year. So take advantage. It's not a joke. And it's not just to take it lightly. We are preparing for a court. I mentioned this before, right? When you go to court, you prepare for a case with the truth. And it's interesting because it mentions here about the whole idea of emet, right? And emet, which means the truth. What is emet? It means truth. How do you write emet in Hebrew? Aleph, which is the first letter, right, of the alphabet. Mem, which is the middle letter in the alphabet, the Hebrew alphabet, and the Taf, which is the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Right? So emet means truth. That means actually that in order to have truth, you have a balance. The beginning, the end, and the middle. The truth always, first of all, is everywhere. Now, the word atem, As it starts, Atem Nitzavim Hayom. Ustedes, vosotros, you, in plural. Atem. You figure out what the letters are? Aleph, Tav, Mem, in a different order, but according to the gematria, which is the numerical values that we like to play in Kabbalah, it's the same value, which is 441. And you put it together when you can come to the last, right? Like in math, you go to the last number that you get at the end, right? One digit number. What do you get? 9. And 9, atem, emet, right? If you all come with the truth, you get 18. You get chai. So what is chai? Life. I'm alive. What is the Torah asking? Atem ubacharta b'chaim. What are you going to choose? Life. So when you come, you all as a group, with the truth means also that when you have someone, right? And it tells you with love, and we talk about this so many times too, with love, with loving kindness. That's the one you want to look for advice. A good friend who's going to come with the truth. Sometimes the truth is hurtful, sometimes, right? But we need to know that those friends exist, and we need to trust them. If they're real friends, they're not going to hurt you. They're going to tell you things with love, but they're going to tell you the truth. So when you look, that's what it means. When you look through the eyes of someone else and you can advise that someone else, that also will help to bring this puzzle together. So take advantage. It's very, very important. This is the opportunity we have. This is the opportunity that we have together. Remember that the true, talking about the met, the true tolerance in the world is not when people are the same. It's not, and I watched a video the other day, I think it was Rabbi Jacobson, I remember, who was saying the importance to really accept not only the whole world, as a whole, because we are a puzzle, but also, our own Jewish people. So much division. And this rabbi, I think Rabbi Jacobson was saying, I like you until you tell me that you do something different than me. That you use a different kippah, or I like you until you tell me that actually you drive on Shabbat. I like you until you tell me that you eat this type of hashkacha, that you daven this way, or you pray this way, or you use this melody and you use another melody. That's what the rabbi was saying. It's like, I like you until you show me you're different than me. It's totally the opposite. That's what it's saying in the Torah. So we have been wrong all the time, discriminating this, discriminating that. And he said, when I see a Jew, I say Shalom Aleichem. He says Aleichem Shalom. Okay, we cannot get agreement, right? That's what this rabbi said. But at least I know, for me Shalom Aleichem, for you it's Aleichem Shalom. But when we say Shabbat Shalom, do you know how many times I walk in the street here when I come to shul? When I go to the synagogue, I say Shabbat Shalom to so many people walking, and so many people don't even say Shabbat Shalom back to me. They don't even know me. But I know they're judging me or something they're doing, and I'm probably judging them as well. Why is it that these people don't say Shabbat Shalom to me? Is it the type of world we want to continue living in? Is this the type of messages we want to teach our children? Because some of these parents or these adults, when I say Shabbat Shalom, they are with the kids. What is the message? Okay, so if my dad doesn't say Shabbat Shalom to this guy who looks actually a conservative Jew, right? Or whatever reason it is, because I never asked them. Sometimes I will say Shabbat Shalom even 3 times on their face. Like in ESPN, in your face. And they wouldn't even say Shabbat Shalom back to me. No idea. But that's not the type of tolerance what we're talking about. The Torah talk about tolerance means variety, means diversity. It means the black, the gay, the LGBT, the Q. It means the person who converted. It means the person who has some other abilities. The person who, everyone, from every color, every gender, from every country. That's what tolerance means. That's what it's saying here. The ger, the one who goes and cuts the trees, everyone. Those you all. And we believe that we were all there too. Our souls were there receiving the Torah. Our souls were there with Moses too. We were all standing there on that day of judgment. Our soul has been judged since then. Some have an older soul, some have a newer soul, some have the last incarnations, whatever it is. And people complain all the time, oh, this world, oh my God, oh, the COVID, oh, this and that. Yes, it's true. So you still want to live in this world? Yeah, we have friends, we love each other, we have family that we love. But this is not a place, believe me, if you ask me, I believe in heaven, I believe in incarnation, I believe that my soul will go up there. And hopefully, you know, I will work enough that I don't have to come back to this place. For some people, this is hell. They don't have to even go down anywhere. For some people, this is real hell. Living in this world. I love this world. I love my life. And you have to enjoy it because you came here to enjoy it as well. But to work on something. Don't wake up in the morning when you say, Rabbi Munatecha, you say to God, you have faith on me. Faith on me to what? To watch TV. Yes, it's okay to watch TV. But do something about it. Do something about the world. Don't be selfish. Don't think about just your business, your money, your family. Go out there. Do something for the world. Do something for your life. Go to your highest potential. So that's mainly what I wanted to say, but we can take away from today, right? Is how are you going to start the new year? How are you going to start the new year? Right? When you think about this physical world, just don't think so much about the spiritual. So, what does it mean to ubacharta b'chaim? What does it mean to choose life? Choose life, it means, for example, when you take care of your body, of your vehicle, your body, health, and you live a healthy life. Healthy life means healthy habits, you exercise, you get away from any temptations or addictions. Bacharta b'chaim, choosing life, means to also alleviate or refrain from extreme activities like jumping from anything that actually you think that you're bored and then you need adrenaline. Well, that doesn't mean specifically that you're choosing life. You're putting yourself at risk. Also, when you watch how you walk and where you walk and towards you walk, when you take care of others and you live an elevated life, and you watch for yourself but you watch also for anyone else, tolerance for others, a life without gossip, right? Abraham Ashkenazi said that commodity, comfort, means death. When you're in your comfort zone and you just stay there, that means you're dead. You're not choosing life. When you look at transformation, because we are not perfect, so we can transform all the time, that's when you're choosing life. Again, you write your own Torah. You can fulfill the mitzvah by writing what you want to write for this new year for you. Continue doing the exercise, the spiritual exercise, introspection. Don't go so far, oh, I'm this, I'm this, I'm that. Just take advantage, work on only one thing. Even if you work on one midah, in only one character trait, that should be enough. At least. Okay? So this parasha gives us strength, even bravery, so we can stand today in front of the Creator on Rosh Hashanah. We can connect with that compromise, with the commitment, the eternal commitment, because not just here, but also our soul with God. It gives us the consciousness of what it means to choose life. Remember comfort zone, death, transformation. You're choosing life. You're choosing to work on yourself, to transform yourself, to transform the world, to help other ones to transform and to open up their eyes, to help them unblind them. You're choosing life. So it pushes us to live a life of light, with enlightenment. So may we all be married and have the zchut to live, to start a new year with all these potentials, and we may all have the merit and to really realize what are the things, and to get light from God. That's why we pray also in Psalm 27 all the time. Adonai ori veishi mira. God is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? Just have God on your side, you'll get the whole path, and your journey will be illuminated, will be lighted with the light of God. We all have the merit. I wish everyone Shana Tova, Umetuka. May you all be inscribed, and may we all be sealed and forgiven. And when we may all have a case that is not so harsh, and may we all be merited and prepared to stand today, Hayom, Nitzavim Hayom, Atem, everyone, you and I, and everyone else in this world. And Rosh Hashanah, in my belief, and the belief of many rabbis, it's not just for Jews, it's for the whole universe. Remember that Rosh Hashanah is some people say it's the creation of the world, or the birthday of the world. For many others, there are debates about that. It's the creation of man, of humankind. Adam was the first man. That means that we have Rosh Hashanah for the entire universe, the world, as a unity, as a big puzzle. Let's all do the work. And if you know some people who are not Jewish, explain to them what Rosh Hashanah is about, that it's not just apples and honey, that we have a big world, and then we can all live to choose life, to write our own Torah. So tomorrow, 8:30, Havdalah, followed by Slichot, live Slichot, and then followed by a pre-recorded Slichot that is a meditation. Wish you everyone Shabbat Shalom and almost Shana Tova. Love you all.